I have been watching a bunch of Apple Intelligence ads. And I realized that this is made for people who hate people. And there are 3 ads that prove this. So let's take a look. So this ad shows a guy who sees a woman walking a dog and is apparently interested in the breed of the dog. He goes up to her, kneels down, whips out his phone and takes a picture. To all the bros out there watching this video, in what universe would a woman be okay with you walking up to her, alright, a random woman, kneeling down and taking a picture of her? Tim, don't you know that guys get called creeps for, glancing at a woman at a gym? Haven't you seen all those videos on TikTok? Steve Jobs once said that computers were a bicycle for the mind. Not anymore. So this ad has a girl who I think is an actor who's receiving a pitch for a new TV show. And there's this other woman who I think is a producer, and she asks the actor girl, what do you think of the pitch? And the girl responds with this.
Yes, the one that you emailed me. I remember.
Clearly she hasn't read the email. And by the way, this email was sent on Friday, right? And I assume that they're having this meeting on a Monday, so she couldn't be bothered to read a freaking paragraph over the weekend, man. And once again, instead of doing the normal thing, which is just saying, oh, I forgot, man, I was so busy and it was my mental day off, She and the lady could have just read the email then and there because, of course, you gotta read the pitch to make sure it's not a terrible TV show. Instead of doing that, she uses the summarize feature and condenses an entire TV show into 4 bullet points and then says this.
Here we are. Very Victorian, which I loved. Unique relationship is formed. I love unique relationships.
With a twist.
I know, because I read it.
She sounds exactly like someone who forgot to prepare for something and is just BSing their way through it. And by the end, she agrees to do it. This is not a good look, Apple. You're promoting your feature as a tool to be used by incompetent people to cover up their laziness. And might I add, the AI didn't even do a good job because it was quite obvious that she had no idea what she was talking about. And using the feature led the girl signing up for something she knows nothing about. This could be the next Velma for all we know. And all of this happened because a girl picked AI over, communication and using social skills, which actually is kind of the main theme of this video. And also, can I just say that Apple is once again crushing art into a smaller form and making more compact, which did not go that well the first time, Apple. Now the final ad involves a funeral for a fish, so I already love it. The family standing in the backyard around the grave of the fish with the girl who's looking suspiciously not sad, makes you wonder if she ate the fish, and the dad is giving an eulogy in which he gets the name of the fish wrong twice.
Fishy.
Swimmy.
Of course it's swim. Fishy would...
Swimmy.
Where'd I get fishy from, of course?
I am no expert at parenting, I'm not Mother Mary, but I feel that the least you could do at your kid's pet's funeral is to remember the name of the damn thing. Now, during the eulogy, the dad is clearly struggling to find his words, but the dad's being kind of relatable. It's not, easy to talk during a funeral, very emotional situation. It's probably like watching Tate shorts, so he can't even cry, but he's doing his best. And whilst all this is happening, the main character, the girl that we saw in the previous ad, gets frustrated by, comforting the child of the family, whips out her iPhone and asks AI to create a video of the fish with sad vibes, and then takes the phone and places it on the gravestone of the fish, and the family abandons the processing of the trauma and sadness and helping the child get through this, life-changing experience, especially at that young age, and next to the grave and stare at an iPhone slideshow with sad songs. The first time I saw this, I was just at a loss for words. With Apple, it's why bother processing grief and trying to, console a child, when instead you could distract their brain with pretty pictures and sounds, raising the child to look towards their iPhone for emotional support and not the family. There are 2 key problems with these ads. The first is that it shows AI being used as a tool for unlikable people. Do you really want to hang out with someone who uses AI because they can be bothered to do their work? Do you want to hang out with someone who gets annoyed during eulogies? These AI ads almost have a sense of meanness to them. I don't root for these people, right? The AI makes the girl just seem kind of mean and condescending and lazy. I don't like this girl, and she's honestly kind of scary. Secondly, the following use cases Apple shows in the ads is the last place in the world that you should be using technology. All 3 situations would have gone a lot more smoothly if people just talked. some of you might say, the marketing team, they just made a mistake, it was a bit tone deaf. They made an error, they're human beings. That might have been true if it was just Apple doing this, but it's not. Even Google has made soulless dystopian AI ads that make you kind of hate the people using them. Let's take a quick look. So here we have this girl asking Gemini to come up with excuses to not meet her friends. Not wanting to meet your friends in itself is not an issue, because sometimes, man, you're busy or you're broke and it's kind of embarrassing to tell them the truth. But imagine being friends with someone who can't even be bothered to come up with a good excuse, and is using AI to try to avoid hanging out with you. Eventually find out that her friends are right in front of her, making this girl even needlessly more unlikable. If you think that things couldn't get weirder, buckle up, man.
If a girl calls me a snack, how do I reply?
Yeah, that's how it works. You're doing AI.
I don't want to get all controversial here, but for a fact, if a guy had called this girl a snack, she wouldn't be asking Gemini for flirting tips, she would be calling the police. Why does this girl look so sad? She was just complimented. Man, us guys have like the dates we were called okay looking etched into our souls. But for this girl, apparently that's not enough. And whilst watching this ad, I couldn't help but get like this pungent sense of existential dread. Like, none of them look happy to be using the AI. They all look like they're being held hostage. They have that deer in the headlight look with like glassy, lifeless looks in their eyes. It's just, I don't know, man. This is somehow creepier than the fish funeral. I think the tech companies are well aware that most consumers have a pessimistic view of AI, because it's one of those technologies where the better it gets, the closer that we get to losing our jobs, mass misinformation, and people being ruined and scammed with deepfakes. I think companies are a bit worried that if they lean too much into the functional uses of AI, which is to create art, videos, like a personal secretary, or to like a boost productivity within a company, people might see that as these companies are making products that will eventually try and replace them. So to try and mitigate that, I think they're trying to depict AI as almost like this friend that lives in your pocket to help you out in your personal social lives, which I think is the worst way to show AI, because you're using something inherently inhuman and unnatural in the most human, natural moments in our lives. That's why these ads feel so rough, because we know based off life experience that the last thing that you should be using in these instances is technology. Tech is being used as a shortcut in places where you need emotions and socialization and just being freaking normal to play out. And we know that because even though tech addiction is universal and we all have an unhealthy relationship with our devices, I think that deep down we know when things have gone too far, and we yearn for naturalness and being out there in the real world. That's why subconsciously we feel unsettled when tech tries to mimic us, because we don't want that. It's simple as that. We just don't want tech to replace human being. Despite what, tech oligarchs and so-called leaders might say about, AI replacing humans and whatnot, there is inherent value in being human, even though we have flaws, inefficiencies, and rough edges. When it comes to getting things done, having to actually put effort into doing it has a lot of meaning to it. For example, going back to the fish ad, sure, an AI can make a fish video in 2 seconds, but wouldn't it have been way more meaningful if the older sister took the time to handcraft a video on iMovie or Final Cut, even if it is not as polished as the AI video, which is not possible, by the way. AI stuff just feels very lifeless. But even if it's not as good, the younger sister would have felt glad that she has an older sister that genuinely cares about her and took the time to try and make a video to make her feel better. And that might help her move on from the passing of a aquatic friend. Your iPhone might make life more convenient, but people is what makes life worth living. And I say that as I'm cooped up in my dark cupboard trying to avoid the noises of other people. What do you guys think of all of this? Do you think I'm looking too much into it? Was it just a mistake? Is this like a dark hidden truth of AI? And it says anti-humanism and all that stuff. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel with the algorithm. And I'm working on a ton of exciting new videos. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you soon. Bye bye.